Hello friends, today we are going to paint a very easy 5-dot flower. I am going to use a Princeton Neptune round size 6. I am going to use a Princeton Velvet Touch size 6 a long round. I am going to use a Art for Joy's Sake brush. It's the dagger one. And possibly a micron 3, but you can use a 3, a 5, whatever, if we choose to do that. But I want it available. But I am going to use my Winsor and Newton Cotman once again. And then I am using my New York Central Art Supply 100% cotton 5x7 watercolor block. And then I think we're going to have a lot of fun. This is super easy. We're going to go ahead and take some type of pink. I am using a permanent rose. And then I would like to take also a tiny bit of dioxide purple, because I want it to be more of a kind of like a magenta color. So I'm just going to move it a little bit. I want to get my brush nice and wet. And then what I'm going to do is begin by doing a dot. And then I'm going to rinse the brush. And then I'm going to make it into a petal. And then what I kind of like to do is take in a little bit darker. I want to take some of that magenta, trying to keep my head out of it, and just go ahead and darken it at the bottom. And we'll just kind of let it bleed out. And then I'm going to go ahead and do another dot about right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out another petal, leaving just a little bit of a space. Kind of keeping it the same size, dabbing up a little bit of the water, but then going in, and I just kind of want to dab that in, and kind of, I don't know if you can see, but I kind of want it to bleed down just a little bit. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and turn this once again. I find it's a lot easier to do. And I'm going to go ahead and put another dot about so. Dipping it in water. And then pulling it out for a petal shape. Once again, these are really super easy to do. I really enjoy doing them. Mother's Day is coming up, so go ahead and dab it in. But it will make a really nice Mother's Day card. You can always do it on some good paper, which you're probably better off doing this on 100% watercolor cotton paper. And then doing another dot here. And I guess this is going to be a 4-dot, because that's about what we have room for. So 4 little simple petals. And then putting the color in. I think that's a little dark, so what I'm gonna do is taking the water, kind of dabbing some off because I don't want it to be that dark. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull some of this out too, because I think it's a little dark for my liking. And long that you move a little quickly, you can have time to do this. Okay. So I just want to take some more of that permanent rose and kind of dabbing it in. Okay. So we got that flower. And so I think we're going to go ahead and kind of put one maybe through here. So we want to do the same thing. Taking some of this permanent rose and a touch of this purple. It's the dioxide purple, or if you have the professional, it's like Winsor purple, but any pink and purple will do, guys. And actually, if you didn't even want to stick with that color, you wouldn't have to. But we're going to kind of put that maybe about right here for the first petal. And then if you wanted to, you can kind of judge. There's like, and kind of do it that way. And then if you move rather quick, which I'm not going to mean to, but you kind of got to move a little quicker. Kind of doing that bud. Kind of having to do the bud shape. And I know it's kind of light in color, but you'll see what I'm doing. And then just putting this on here and watching it kind of bleed out a little bit. Okay, so trying to move quickly once again, taking the brush, kind of making that petal, leaving a little bit of a space. And then a touch. Oops. Drop the brush, but got to move quickly before it dries, because I want to do, because of the effect. And I don't want this to be too dark. But colors vary in nature, so, and then we're going to just add a little bit of dark. And turning it, we're going to go ahead and pull that color on down. Once again, doing another petal. Taking some of that quin magenta, or not quin magenta, but our permanent rose. And then doing the last petal, getting it wet, pulling this down. And this is just really loose. It's just something that I kind of like to play around with. And you can see that there's a little bit of a bleed there, but that's okay, because we're just kind of keeping it loose. So we're just going to dab that on a little bit there. And then we're just going to go ahead and let that dry. So for Mother's Day, you can either do this on a blank card, or you can do it on your like 100% cotton paper. And then you can go ahead, and we're going to do a little bud. So I kind of do my buds a little different. So we'll do that in a minute. So in the meantime, go ahead and rinse that off. And we're going to take some sap green, but you could glue it to a card is your other option. So I think I'm going to do this card possibly for my mom, make her one. Get a couple practices in and do it pretty soon. I'm trying to want to use up all this paint so then I can go to a bigger palette. I got some other colors I want to add. So if anybody would like to see the colors that are in my palette, please let me know in the comments below and I will gladly make a video on it. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take that down. And these aren't going to be absolutely perfect, but it'll work. And then taking it kind of up like that. And then kind of what I like to do is just kind of taking it on an angle. And then I'm going to go ahead and not rinsing my brush. But just kind of, it's going to be kind of pretend, but just something little buttish shape. Just what I like to do. And then intermingle in. The colors can bleed a little bit. But there. Okay. So I think this needs to go all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Making this a little bit thicker. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. Okay. And then I'm going to take just a damp brush with just water, but not too much water. And I want to run it just along the edge. Just trying to make it a little bit lighter. So it like trying to get an effect where it just kind of looks like it's lighter on the one side. Okay. And doing the same with the other two. Just kind of running it along. That's what we want to do. And then one more. And this is where I'm using that long round because I just wanted to kind of tickle the edge. Because it will definitely work. Okay. See, and that gives it just a hair more, just a little bit more depth. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take some cadmium yellow. And I'm going to just kind of dab in the center. Perfect. And that's going to, I like how that looks. So now we need to do like a little bit of a leaf. And this is our little pretend flower. So I think this is where I'm going to take the dagger brush. And I am going to take some more of this sap green. Okay, our painting is dry and I realized that I missed some of the recording. So I'm going to let you know what I did in case. I went ahead and did the leaves and I used a little bit of the sap green and I put ultramarine blue in this one. And then I went ahead and put a little bit of the permanent rose in the sap green in this one. And I did like little spikies on the leaves. So that's kind of how I did that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm taking my Princeton Velvet Touch Long Round, and I am going to get some more of this sap green. And then I am going to take a little bit of ultramarine blue and this dioxide purple. And I got this little olivey color. And what I'm going to do is I just want to put a line down here. And you guys don't have to do this, but I just think I want that little extra touch. And then I'm going to take some of this sap green and kind of put a vein there. And then a vein there. And if you guys wanted to do more detail than that, you absolutely could. And then I want to go ahead and kind of wet through here a little bit, because I just want to add just a touch more of that bleed. Okay, making sure it's not wet, and then I want to blend the rest of this out. So that petal looks a little bit more defined. So we're pretty much done. I really love how this turned out for a really easy, loose floral. And then if you wanted to, you could actually outline the flowers and then go down for more lino wash. But I kind of like how this looks. I guess that would be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If I didn't say at the beginning, I did use Winsor and Newton Cotman watercolor, and I used my New York Central 100% watercolor cold press watercolor block. Thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned to the next video, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye everyone.